Yo. Alright. Yo. Tonight we are just gonna watch some videos. It's been a minute since we just watched some videos. I don't know if I can stream this kind of stuff on TikTok. Oh, I'm gonna have to put my camera to this if I'm gonna be on YouTube. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Alright. Okay. I did kind of want to watch or play Marvel Rivals, but that's just whatever. We'll check out some videos and some news about stuff. So today's gonna be a short stream. Just wanted to, hang out, go live, talk about some videos. Cause tonight we have the next episode of 90 Day Fiance, and I wanted to watch the Joe Rogan. What's it called? Joe Rogan special
The other
with
day,
Melissa
I put up a poll asking my
tonight.
audience
So
which version of Classic WoW they're playing. The results were quite surprising to say
let's
the
put
least. It
this.
turns out the top choice was that people are not playing Classic WoW at
Ooh.
all. A whopping 40% of people said they've stepped away from the
Cataclysm. Damn. What? SOD's dead.
game entirely. 33 are playing Cataclysm Classic, 15
And that's also like that. This is people that are like voting in a WoW poll. That's a lot. Yikes!
playing
Yeah.
Season of Discovery, and just 12 are still on Classic Era. So yes, we're seeing a huge population drop. But it's not exactly shocking. We always knew that by the time Kata Classic came around, interest in Classic WoW would wane. Kata isn't a cup of tea for many Classic WoW players. The ethos
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like Cataclysm to me is like not really. It's not really classic, and also I'm gonna give like maybe a casual take. It's too hard. It's like the raids are too hard. I can't just like make a raid with some guys and just go get the loot. Like it's super complex. There's a bunch of mechanics. It's not. It is. It is. It's too hard. Yeah, I mean, no pickup groups. Yeah, you can't make pickup groups. It's like too punishing. Yeah, I just get good. I already did. Like, I mean, I have all cutting edge. I have the Sinestra Immortal achievement.
Damn.
I just don't want to do it because it's cumbersome and punishing, and it wastes too much time. Sorry.
Takes too much
Classic
time.
gameplay is simple.
That's how I feel with freaking SOD, bro. Trying to do a damn world boss.
Log in, slay some dragons with your friends, have a few beers, and score some loot. Rinse and repeat next week. Cataclysm still offers that experience, but the content isn't as casual friendly as it used to be.
Exactly, it's too hard. He's totally right. Yep, it's not casual friendly at all. This is way too hard for average players. Classic Andes are brain dead zombies. You can't expect them to move. Okay, so you can't be on the side of a Nixia, but then you can't be behind a Nixia, but you can't be in front. Well, where do you go? Like, I mean, because if I'm not, okay, so where would I be in a Nixia? Oh, God. I've got a headache. Guys, I gotta go lay down.
I gotta go lay down.
When you compare the heroic difficulties to older or hard modes. Also,
Yes.
a
80 trillion?
original classic audience also love the old school.
Why does it say T? There's no way his 106 trillion health and Nefarian has 15 million.
Leveling zones, rich with exploration and non-linear quest lines. But with Cataclysm's revamp of Azeroth, that
it's just like retail.
lost for some players.
Cataclysm is retail WoW.
By the way, guys, if you're still leveling up your character up, link to that.
It's shut down because no one's playing it except. Why would I want to get good? Think about it like that. Why would I want to be good at this? It's just not fun. Like, it's annoying. And also, like, if the game isn't rewarding and it doesn't feel good to improve in, then why would I want to spend my time doing it? Because ego is more important than fun? Yeah, like, I'm not like that at all. Like, I don't care. That's whatever. I used to be like that.
When the Discovery launched, it drew a staggering number of players, just under 500,000 logs. That's RAF Classic level engagement.
Yeah.
At peak times, you could easily see over 300 group requests on the LFG add-on on the highest population servers. But now SOD only has about half of its original population. Clearly, something went wrong. I've already made a whole video diving into the details, but to sum it up, SOD became everything Classic WoW players.
SOD became retail.
Yep.
That's the reason why. And I got so much shit when I first heard the announcements at BlizzCon and I said this was going to happen. Everybody was shitting on me.
Classic
but
kill.
I was right.
SOD 2.
Spies about retail. The current lineup of Classic WoW products just isn't hitting the mark for most players. Since the beginning of Classic, we've had a hardcore to semi-hardcore player base, much larger than people realise. These are the kind of players who won't cancel a raid night to attend their own child's piano recital. You know, the true heroes of World of Warcraft. Depending on your server, casual guilds are definitely in the minority on Cataclysm Classic, which you can easily see.
Well, the reason why casual guilds are in the minority is because you can't be casual. The raids are too hard. This happened in original Cataclysm. Like how many of you guys were in like a server in Wrath of the Lich King, and everybody was doing pugs in Wrath, and then Cata comes out, it's too hard, nobody's doing pugs anymore. Because the raids are too punishing. Like and that's what happened in original Classic or original Cata.
Come on.
I remember, like, I had all these pugs, and like we had this massive pug culture on Kel'Thuzad. Cata comes out, it's so fucking hard that we just can't do it in a pug. And then all those people that were raiding, because you've got to keep in mind, a lot of people don't have time to raid more than like once a week, and they can't even do that on a schedule. That's why GDKPs were great. And like, you know, organized pugs were great. And now, if it's
GDKP
so hard, you
gone
just can't make any progress.
SOD
Dragonstone
too.
wasn't too bad. Yeah, but that was like way later on. It's not hard? It absolutely is hard. What are you talking about? It's not hard? Are you stupid? It's absolutely hard.
Are you stupid?
By checking out the server discords. And honestly, that's fine. This is exactly what Cataclysm Classic was designed to be, and it's stayed true to that vision.
Yeah.
If it made Classic Cataclysm easier,
I feel like I've never seen any of these cinematics.
Its core audience. Over the past 4 years, Classic WoW has cultivated a more hardcore community.
No, it has not. Oh my god.
Look at he's got the gamer wrist dot, dude. He's got it bad.
This is the most not true thing that I've ever heard. And let me explain why. Because what happens is that...
Bro, wait. Is this classic? There's no way this is a classic raid, bro. What?
This is what's happened with retail WoW also.
Uh-oh.
Is that what ends up happening is the red line here, these are the serious hardcore players. And these are the average players. And it is true that the average players get better over time, but the rate of their improvement is extremely low. Because, for example, a new player coming into Classic WoW, for example, only has to take a couple of steps to be skilled enough to be in Molten Core. But a new player now coming into Classic Cataclysm now has to take 50 steps to be better in, like, Heroic BWL or something like that. So what happens is that the gap between good players and average players gets wider because the average players stay the same because they're rotating around and you're always getting new players without a bunch of experience. And the hardcore players keep getting better because they keep playing the game longer. So whenever you start designing for this group of people, you get retail WoW. And when you design for this group of people, you have classic WoW.
True.
And that's what the difference is. So yes, you're right that there's a lot of people that like talking about how they like hard fights in Classic, but there's not a surprise to me. It's not a surprise to me at all that the reason why Hardcore WoW and the time that Hardcore WoW started popping off was whenever Old War came out. I don't think that was a coincidence, guys. I just don't. Sorry. I think there's a very good reason for that.
Because Old War was hard?
It's not about difficulty. It's also about time investment. Exactly. Yeah, you could run Nax and it takes 2 hours at the most, right? For most, like, really good guilds. If you're running BWL and all those raids, it probably takes longer.
Yeah.
Old War's peak MMO rating? Yeah, but it also caused people to quit. You just explained wealth inequality? Well, there are a lot of differences. Like, this graph explains a lot of human, like, deviations, right? It explains a lot of it. So that's the reason why. So the idea does, era, ways, for example.
All right,
actually... Like in Classic WoW, it wasn't about clearing the raid. It was about
Hey folks, this is Kalani. The War Within expansion is quickly approaching, which means we don't have too much longer to lock in our main characters.
DPS
now,
rank
has to be a good one, right? Well, we're going to go through every melee spec and see which ones are going to be on top.
Let's see where the warrior
is. Who's dishing out some great AoE, and which ones look good overall. We're also going to talk about hero talent trees, how they change up your rotation, whether or not they look cool, and whether or not you can actually tell they're there, because some of them are so passive.
That damage didn't look too good.
Notice. So here's our list of melee DPS ranked for the War Within and which ones are looking to be on top for the start of the new expansion. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's kick things off with the Warriors, starting with Arms. Arms has had quite a few changes so far. The main difference going into the next expansion is that you won't be generating as much rage, but pretty much everything will cost less rage as well. Thankfully, that does leave you in a place where you're not really waiting that often for auto attacks to generate rage to actually use an ability, so it's definitely not...
Plus, if I have a Shaman, I get the buff. I don't see it on here, but there's a Shaman in the group.
As slow as it has been in the past. The general theme and key abilities haven't changed too much. You're still the two-handed weapon specialist, dealing massive damage with mortal strikes, keeping your foes bleeding with rend.
Demolish? Wait.
Dealing massive damage with mortal strikes, keeping your foes bleeding with rend, and overpowering them whenever you can. There's some cool changes with cleave and the talents that really focus in on big AoE pulls. There's definitely a lot of potential for both single target damage and AoE, but the gameplay and rotation don't feel too smooth, especially when compared to some other melee classes, and even Fury Warrior, which we'll touch on in a moment. As far as hero talents
Ugh.
go, they're not great. Colossus gives you a new
Oh,
ability, Demolish, which deals a lot of damage, but you can't really move while casting it. I've personally never liked being locked into these kinds of animation based abilities. It's an easy way to catch a stray fireball or swirly, especially in
true.
hectic raid encounters. The big hits are fun, but that's all the hero talent tree really has going for it. The Slayer hero talents are actually less interesting, mostly because they don't really
No,
change too much about how your abilities
just
work, and
spam
there aren't really any cool visuals
Blade
either.
Fury,
There are
or is
no
it
new animations or
Blade Storm?
effects from what I can tell, but hopefully that changes before we hit live servers. Slayer revolves around Execute and Blade Storm, empowering those abilities and giving you access to them more often. Blade Storming more is
Oh,
always
that was like
fun,
a
but
quick one
those
second Blade
abilities and giving
Storm.
you access to them more often. Blade Storming more is always fun, but that's kind of all it has going for it. There are also quite a few buttons and minor cooldowns to manage, and the
I wonder what
rotation
the
feels
tier
okay at
set's
best.
gonna
At least you're
be.
not super range
If like the tier gear is gonna switch with the spec or the hero talent.
starved though, that would have made things even worse. I'm going to put arms in the B tier.
Ooh,
Moving
B
on to the Fury
tier?
Warriors, grab that second big axe or sword or mace because you're going to need it to smash some mobs to pieces. Fury hasn't changed
Fury
all that
gets
much in
Blade
how it
Storm
really
though.
plays either, except Bloodthirst got buffed quite significantly, so it's back to being a high priority ability, and you'll probably be
Sick.
leaving spells around its cooldown. Personally, I find Fury a lot smoother rotation-wise, and it's actually really enjoyable to play. You've got some beefy cooldowns, a few different
Eh,
options for talents and setups, and some good utility thrown in there as well. The only problem I have with Fury, and I guess the same thing really goes for Arms, is that there isn't anything too exciting going on with them right now. It's kind of the same old, but if you play Warrior right now and you love how it plays, that's maybe
Yeah.
not a bad thing. As for the
Oh,
hero
okay.
talents, Mountain Thane is really cool. It powers up Avatar and Thunderclap,
Dude, Mountain Thane, I'm like a lightning warrior, and then Jax and Ellie Shaman. That might be cool.
making them both more potent, but also giving you more access to Avatar, which is always fun. The aesthetics are really cool, especially when Thunderclap turns into Thunderblast, and at least you actually have some new visuals with this hero talent tree in play. Mountain Thane also basically replaces Whirlwind with Thunderclap in your rotation, which feels way better than it probably sounds, and Mountain Thane is definitely my favorite hero talent tree for the Warriors right now. The
Wow.
Slayer hero talent tree is pretty much the same as it is for Arms. It doesn't do anything super flashy, isn't all too interesting, and doesn't change much about the buttons you press. The Thunder and
Just more
Lightning theme
Blade
of the Mountain
Storm.
Thane is way more interesting to me. But with smooth gameplay, the one good hero talent tree, good options for single target, and amazing AoE potential, Fury
A
just and so
tier.
lands a spot in the A tier for me. Let's check out the Survival Hunters
Survival
next.
Hunter, Ret
Survival has
Pally,
recently
Havoc,
changed
Outlaw,
quite significantly,
Assassination
and it's currently in
Sub,
a really good spot. If you love
Feral,
throwing
Enhancement,
explosives into
Windwalker,
big packs of mobs,
Frost.
you're in the right
DK, let's see where
place to
everything's
slash
at.
your foes, creating waves of Shadow Frost damage
Because I'm probably not
with a
gonna like.
great mobility and
Wait, did
with
they
a
put
fantastic
Windwalker at
windwalk,
number
plenty of
one?
options, smooth gameplay, great mobility, and some fun hero talents, Windwalker Monk lands comfortably
Ret Pally, Windwalker, Monk, Havoc, Survival, Fury, Feral, Assassination, Arms, Enhancement, Sub, Assassin. Ooh, Rogue's not looking too good. Ooh. Ret Pally, huh?
in the S tier for my list. Alright, let's round things out with the Death Knights. Frost saw a handful of changes and quite a few
Uh, Best warrior spec for War Within. Most damage. DPS rankings War Within. Did they 5 days ago? This would just be right now. Arms and Furies at the top. But what about like what does the most damage as like classes tier list? What does the most damage as like between each spec? Tank, healer, DPS, M plus. Is it gonna be like, oh shit, Shadow Priest? But like, is this arms warrior like Colossus, or is he, or they don't have that yet? Where can I see that? Fury Warrior, huh? Hmm. I guess we'll have to see. I am curious to see what this has to be done. I don't know. Like, what easiest melee DPS from easy to hard? "23 amazing small changes in the war within you need to know."
Wouldn't it be crazy if you could create voiceovers that sound like
A raspy old man.
A young teenage girl.
Or a guy with a different accent.
all by yourself? Well, that's exactly what you can do with
Hey folks, this is Kalani. The War Within expansion is almost here, and it'll be introducing a whole bunch of new features and systems that you've probably heard of time and time again. Warbands, delves, the new raid, the dungeon changes, all that wonderful stuff. But with so many updates, it's hard to keep track of everything, and some changes will definitely fly under the radar. But fear not, we've put together a list of lesser known changes that you might not know
Crafting
about,
from
but
the
will
Warband
end up
bank.
being very important or impactful as we head into the new expansion.
Changes to enchanting.
Another very interesting change related to professions are how enchants are going to work. They're going to be a bit smarter in the
Quick
War
start
Within.
arena
Whenever
levers.
you try to enchant a piece
Transfer
of gear,
honor.
either from the enchant itself in your enchanting profession window or by using an enchanted vellum, it will automatically open both your character pane and your bags, and it will actually grey out anything that is not a valid target for the enchant
wow,
that you're trying
sick.
to use. So you don't have to sort through items to find the one you're looking for or remember what enchant you're trying to use, and it just makes
Do this
Hey
before
folks,
launch.
this is Kalani. The pre-patch event is finally here, giving you some new story content to work your way through, new content in the event itself, which can reward you with some pretty good gear and let you quickly gear up and level up your ults. There's a new heirloom ring to collect, and the Warband bank is finally available. There's quite a bit to keep you busy in this event, and there are some prerequisites to those new story quests we mentioned, so let's go over what you need to do to take part in the new event and how you can get all of the rewards on offer. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. The first thing you're going to want to do is work through the new story quests that became available with the new event. When you log in, you should get a cinematic that goes over the most recent major events from the past few expansions, kind of like a story so far recap or reminder, just in case you didn't play through those expansions, or maybe you forgot how we got to where we are now. After that, you should have the quest The War Within, which asks you to head down to Silithus and talk to Thrall. The War Within questline also comes with a teleport scroll down to the zone, so you can just head straight there. The Radiant Echoes event is very simple. There are 3 zones that will have the event active: Dustwallow Marsh, Dragon Blight, and the Searing Gorge. The zone will
Where are your time running characters?
bunch of gear for your ults that have leveled through time running. Time running characters won't transfer over to retail properly until the event ends. We also don't have any way to transfer them early, at least that we know of so far. The Mr. Pandaria Remix event ends on August 19th, which doesn't give you very long to play these characters in the pre-patch before the War Within launches, especially if you have early access, which becomes available on the 22nd. But with the currency being warband transferable, you can save that up and then just send it to your time running characters after the transfer happens, so they can gear up to 480 immediately via the vendor without having to actually take part in any of the events. The other option would be to save up all of your warbound gear in your warbank and just take whatever pieces you need on the characters that need gearing up. The main reason I bring this up is because we don't really have any idea how the time running transfer is going to work. We don't know what gear those characters will end up with, and you can be sure they won't be allowed to keep any of their actual time running gear. The item level is too high and the gems and cloak won't be available in retail, so it makes the most sense that each character will just be given a set of gear, and that gear will probably not be higher than the catch-up gear available from this event, otherwise it kinda makes the catch-up gear pointless. So stockpiling the currency or gear could be a great way to help your time running ults get ready in the few days they have before the expansion launches. And then the last thing you want to make sure you do is pop by your warband bank again and make sure it's unlocked. The warbank is finally available, so you can tinker around with it, unlock as many tabs as you can afford, and then start setting it up to make sure you have everything you might want your entire warband to have access to secured in the right place. Keeping the warbank tidy might seem difficult, but it's going to be a lot harder to tidy it up at the end of the expansion when you'll want all of that extra space for the new materials and goodies coming our way. But that's everything you can do in the pre-patch event.
I gotta go clean up my bags. Alright, chat, I'm out. See y'all tomorrow. Short stream. Busy. I can't. What's been going on? What's going on? I'm like lagged out.